What does it take to become a legend? Strength, talent, or an unbreakable will? In 1960, the world watched in disbelief as an unknown runner from Ethiopia, Abebe, crossed the finish line of the Olympic marathon in Rome. He didn't just run, he ran barefoot. This is not just the story of a race. This is the story of determination, courage, and a man who inspired generations. Our story begins in 1932 in a small village in Shua, Ethiopia. Abebe Bikila was born into a world where life was not easy. He grew up herding sheep, running over rocky paths and walking miles each day, often without shoes. His home was a small hut with dirt floors, his bed a mat made from animal skins. But amidst the simplicity of his life, there was a fire within him, a spirit of resilience and a passion for running that would later captivate the world. These daily struggles were not a burden for young Abebe. They were a foundation for the extraordinary journey that awaited him. His childhood was tough, but it was also here that his stamina and strength were built. Little did he know that the rocky paths he ran on would one day lead him to the most prestigious races in the world. As Abebe grew older, he continued to run. His pace was unmatched, his stride both graceful and powerful. It was during one of these runs that a scout from the Imperial Guard of Emperor Haile Selassie spotted him. Intrigued by the young man's effortless speed and endurance, the scout approached Abebe and offered him a place in the guard. Though initially hesitant, Abebe's innate desire for a better life led him to accept the offer. It was here, amidst the disciplined ranks of the Imperial Guard, that Abebe's life took a decisive turn. Among the rigorous training routines and formations, his talent for running was first noticed and nurtured. His endurance was unmatched, his stride both graceful and powerful. Soon, coaches realized that this man was no ordinary soldier. He was a natural-born marathoner. In 1960, when Ethiopia sent a team of athletes to the Olympic Games in Rome, Abebe Bikila was among them. Back then, long-distance running was dominated by European athletes. To make matters worse, just before the marathon, Abebe discovered that his shoes didn't fit properly. Unable to bear the thought of wearing ill-fitting shoes during such an important race, he made a bold decision. He discarded his shoes. With blisters forming on his feet, Abebe started the race. At first, spectators laughed. Commentators doubted his chances. But Abebe was not daunted. He had spent a lifetime running without shoes. For him, this was not a disadvantage. It was home. The marathon route wound through historic streets, past the Colosseum under the Roman night sky. Spectators crowded the streets, their cheers echoing through the ancient city. But for Abebe, the sights and sounds were a blur. He was focused on one thing, putting one foot in front of the other. Step by step, Bikila moved steadily forward, overtaking one runner after another. Despite the blisters, his pace was strong, his steps sure-footed. By the final stretch, he was in the lead. He crossed the finish line in 2 hours, 15 minutes and 16 seconds. A new world record. That night, under the bright lights of the Olympic Stadium in Rome, Ethiopia and Africa had its first Olympic gold medalist. 4 years later, at the 1964 Olympic Games in Tokyo, the world watched again. This time, Abebe wore shoes, but many were skeptical. Only 40 days before the marathon, he had undergone surgery for appendicitis. Many thought he wouldn't even finish, but Abebe was unstoppable. Not only did he run, he won again, breaking his own record. Abebe Bikila became the first man in history to win back-to-back Olympic marathons. But Bikila's story was not just about triumph. In 1969, tragedy struck. He was involved in a serious car accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down. The world mourned the loss of its barefoot wonder. But Bikila was not one to stay down. He took up archery, competed in wheelchair sports, and proved that his spirit was as unbroken as ever. Abebe Bikila passed away in 1973, at just 41 years old. But his legacy lives on. He showed the world that greatness doesn't come from wealth or privilege, but from determination, discipline, and most of all, heart. He inspired a generation of African athletes and runners worldwide. Today, every time an Ethiopia marathoner wins a race, the spirit of Abebe Bikila runs alongside them. He was more than a runner. He was a symbol of courage, of possibility, of the human spirit. Abebe Bikila, the Barefoot champion, who taught us that the road to greatness begins with a single step, no matter how rough the path. If you follow your dreams with unwavering dedication, you too can become a legend. This has been our channel. Follow us for more inspiring stories of science, history, and human resilience. Thank you for watching.